Welcome to My Life YT, guys. Today we're going to mount up the gas tank. Sorry we didn't get any video of making this. It's 6 inches by 6 inches by 34, and where it's going to mount is right here underneath the radiator. We're pretty limited on space, so that's what I came up with to mount it. This, it's all stainless steel except for this flange. It was easier to cut it out of mild. I cut that so that the stock fuel sending unit and pump, I had to change this a little bit. I cut the ends of these bars off and move the filter up here, or the pump up there, but it slides into here, and then I don't have to go out and buy a special fuel pump or anything. So that's what I'm working on. What I want to do is get it in here, show you how it goes in. About like that. I am going to leave the tank sloped that way so that the fuel pump is never starved for fuel. It'll always be tapered that way. I probably should have built that into the tank, but hindsight's 20/20. So moving on. We are going to take, I want a support underneath of the tank, so I'm going to have flat bar going underneath here, support underneath of it, and then I'll probably just make some kind of bracket right here just to put a bolt in it, but I'll have these underneath it to support it, and the bolts will just hold it in place, or maybe a strap going across or something. But I want to weld something to the tank so that I don't have any kind of like actual straps. This is going to be a bracket that bolts in. So we're making our other underneath support. We have some angle iron that I'm supporting it with, and then I'm having it go out the back. And what I'm doing is I'm leaving enough out the back to make a tab back there so that I can just put a bolt through it and bolt it down. It'll be a lot easier than coming up with something else. So and then what it does is it goes across to a bar that's underneath here, and then I'll have another piece that comes up underneath here from there to there. So mark that. And then another short piece here, and it cut even shorter. It'll go in here. So I got both those marked. I'll get them cut off, weld them together so they're an actual angle to support it. Alright, so these are our gas tank supports. This is going to weld right to there. One thing is that I'm not going to weld on the inside of here because the tank actually sits right in there. So I'm going to flip it down and I'm going to weld on the back side. Here's our bracket, and I did notch this a little bit to come up underneath this tube, and that goes underneath here. I'm just pushing it up tight to the gas tank. And I'll tack weld that in. So this is what I was talking about with the angle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole here, and I'll put a tab coming off to bolt it there. Same thing on the other side, and then I'm going to probably do one right here in the front. So we bolted in 3 places, but it's supported on both ends. I'll pull it out of there and give you another shot of what it's going to be. So these are my brackets. Goes from that brace up and over there. Obviously I gotta finish welding it. And same thing over here. From that brace up and then up to that tube that goes all the way across. So it'll be supported at each end and then have those 3 mounted spots. So I'm going to put the front mount on. I have a couple of mounting ears off an enclosure. I'm going to take and I'm going to weld the shorter one on the bottom and the taller one on the top. I do have to trim, I still have to trim the bottom one, or the shorter one down even more. I'm going to cut those ears off so I can line it up, and that'll be my mount for the front of the tank. So, also on the back, or underneath the tank, I actually ended up putting pieces of flat bar so that it held that a little better. All I'm going to do with this filler neck is I'm going to hold it on a good angle, what I think's a good angle, and then I'm going to just hold my marker parallel to try to get the angle marked on it so that I can trim it off. And so it gave me an angle to start with, cut it off there, set it down on there, decide where my hole needs to be. Alright, so there's our angle. Now we're just going to set it on top of the tank. And to be honest, it doesn't stick out as far as I would like it to. But we're going to deal with it. That's what I got. Now I'm just going to mark on the top of the tank where my hole needs to be. And there's not much room. I'm gonna have the radiator sitting here and a shroud sitting here, so it's got to tuck in between here. Should have plenty of room to get my hand in there to twist the handle off. So should be fine. I got it marked out. I'm gonna actually pull the tank out to cut it, and be a lot easier. Alright guys, so that's going to conclude our gas tank build and install. We're going to move on to other stuff. I'm not sure, I don't know, we just got to weld up some brackets for the radiator. We got to do our electrical, and I think we'll be running this thing. So stay tuned for those. Oh, driving.